How's it going, guys? Doing a little video on my tablet today. Um, these are some plants I got. Some strawberries, ever-bearing strawberries from uh, Armstrong's. Uh, these are Eversweet right here. And these are Avanti or whatever in the gray. And then this one is a sun gold tomato. Um, I transplanted them last night. I know a lot of people say don't transplant them at night. I transplanted these first, and then I did these, and they're in these windowsill holders. These were sitting on the windowsill today, and they're not as perky. These were sitting right here, and they're a lot more perky. Like they've gotten sun since whatever it is, 6:30 in the morning, 7. And these, they probably start getting light around 7:38ish, and right now it's 1:30 in the afternoon, and where they normally sit, these white ones, and where these are going to sit, only get light from like 8 till like 1:30ish or somewhere around that. So that's how that is. No update on these blackberries. I pulled a different one, not one of these two, but the one I have over where these plants were, and I could see some roots coming out of the bottom. So they're finally rooting again. When I got them, they were basically root bound, so none of the roots that were on them actually are going to be used. They're growing all new roots, so they're going to take a lot longer to come along. Anyway, let me show you where these plants go and something else that I'm going into, and I just wanted to give a little update on what I'm doing here. So let's walk over here. This is my little area to do stuff, and got some primer here. I'll get into that later. So I got the tomato plants over here. These are the Cherokees. Just going over them again, and these are doing great. You can see got lots of rooting coming up, and last Sunday is when I put them in these pots, so they're doing great. This is the one I pulled out, and I saw roots in the bottom, so that's how I know they're getting roots or whatever. These are getting a little taller. They weren't very tall. They're almost ready to add some soil up to here and cut off the pieces so they'll start grabbing. These I got from the 99-cent store. They're just red cherry tomatoes, and I'll put them in a container. And I also got these stackables at the 99-cent store for $1.49 each, which is cool. Anyway, let me move on real quick. This is where these little hanging things are going to be, and as you can see, it's shaded now. The sun is just over the roof there, so these are all in the shade now. So they only get about 5.5, 6 hours of shade. But what I'm noticing here is, see how they're angled? This is angled, and the other one's straight. And what I'm gonna have to do is put a 2x4 like this behind here and cut it so that it hits that bar right there, and then I'll just screw it in right in the back there. Just put a screw in the 2x4 so it'll hit that bar. But I have to make sure that these strawberries are going to be okay with that. I got to really time out the thing. What I got here is some lavender, and these they both are supposed to attract bees, and I'll probably get some more. I just want to know if they're cool for like partial shade or like that, and I want to put them in there and possibly over here. As you can see, this tree is doing great. I just throw the leaves down and let it decompose on its own down there, and you can see that there's other ones that are decomposed from before, but you can see a lot of new growth is happening on this. Okay, so anyway, over here I never showed you guys the compost stuff. This is stuff I got from the city, and it's got some chunks in it, but it's nice. It's pretty good. That's what I've been using. So anyway, if anybody has any opinions on that, a friend of mine gave me some of this black mulch. I don't know if I can use it or if it's going to be too hot. I figured I'd grab it. So tell me what you guys think about it. In this, I was thinking about getting more strawberries or something to that effect, or doing some herbs like this here. I have some cilantro and some basil, and I was thinking about possibly doing some in here and give me your opinion on that. As for the tomatoes, these are going to go, 4 of them are going to go in a 15-gallon pot that I have, and then 2 of them are going to go in the 7.5-gallon. And what I got here, and I'm going to walk in the front office here, is these 15-gallon. Let me turn this so that the sun ain't on it. So it says 15. These are 15-gallon, and it was only like $15 for 5 of them. And that's where they'll go. I'm gonna do 2 in the 7-gallon, see how they work. And that's that. What's going on with this is that I always used 1-2-3 primer on stuff, because it's good for metal, plastic, and steel. So I like using it. I got my little roller in there. I was using it last night. I just cut off a little piece so that it'll go in there without letting it dry out. And what I'm doing is I'm cleaning these up and I'm painting them. The reason is these get really hot. This one isn't too hot right now. The sun is just now really coming out. But if you come over here, what I did was I sanded it with 80 grit sandpaper, and then I just put the primer on it. As you can see, I touched it. But this is very cool to the touch. And when you touch this, well, it's cool now because it's in the shade. But when I came out yesterday and was touching some of these that were out in the sun with no shade in it, they were pretty fucking hot. They were hotter than me. So I was like, oh, so I want to paint them white because when it gets hotter, it's going to cook those roots. And I just repotted this one and added soil, so I know the roots aren't messed up on this. This one, as you can see, is very low. It's dropped down about 2 inches, 2.5 inches since I potted it. So I'm gonna pull this one out, add soil in the bottom, break up some of the roots on the side, and I'm going to add it up and bring it up to where there's only about 2 inches from the top. So it'll have a lot more soil, so it'll be good until next year or whatever, and then maybe I can up pot it next year. On this one, it had this soil in it, and it wasn't draining at all. I took this out yesterday, just to give you guys a reference. I took this out yesterday. Look at that. It's still soaking wet. So this one was getting smothered, as you can see, with the yellow leaves. And this one doesn't drain too good either, and you can see some of the yellow leaves. So I'm going to let them dry out all the way till like it's Sunday. I'm going to let it go till Wednesday, and we'll see what's happening. This one seems to be doing better since I repotted it in there and put new soil and some Super Thrive. These are my strawberries, and I added some compost in here, just in this line in the front because it was low, and some nutrient, and now it's just exploding. It's getting all kinds of different strawberries on there already. I just did it on Sunday, so it's really exploded since Sunday. It's getting lots of different stuff. And this might be a little bit too crowded for these. I think I put a 6-pack in here, which is why I got the ones that hang from the window. But you know, at any rate, I might do something on this wall to make it so that I can just put those, hang them up right here. As you can see, when I painted this, I'm gonna do one more coat. Even though it's fine like this, I want to do one more coat because when I pull this out, as you can see, the root system, it's dropped down too. So I'm gonna do the same thing with this one, where I clean out the sides and the bottom, add new soil and stuff like that. So I want to put one more coat, so when I roll it to try to get it loose and pull it out, it doesn't mess it up too much, and then I'll maybe put one more coat after that. This one I trimmed up, as you can see. I think I talked about it in my last video. Same thing with this. So here's the deal. Come back over here. I just take the Porter Cable sander and some 80 grit from Harbor Freight, and it takes about maybe 5 minutes. These, after the sun was on it, these are ones I was grabbing. These right here and this one right here. And this little pot is what all those other plants came in, including the lemon plant. But these are the ones I was touching yesterday when the sun was over there, and they were super hot. So I know in the afternoon it gets really hot after the sun's out for a little while, so I want to get these things painted up. Another thing I do is I use this bucket with my water pump right here, and I have 2 aquarium aerators, and what I do is I pH the water in there after I put the Super Thrive and some nutrient in there. I'll plug it in right here and just set it here, and I will let it bubble and circulate, and then I'll check the pH on it, and usually I want it between 6.0 and 6.5, and then I'll pour it into the plants over there, whichever ones. And I'm just using some basic nutrient to give them nutrient for now, and Super Thrive, so it makes the root grow faster. And yeah, so that's the story, you know. So basically you get it. I'm going to be sanding today and doing the pots, getting them white. It's already getting hot out here. I'm starting to sweat. So when the sun is in full bore, it was overcast today, keeps going in and out in California. I'm down in the ports of Los Angeles, so as you can see, it's just all concrete and open space. So you get a little bit of a breeze, but at the same time, it gets really hot right here if it's outside. So I want to get these plants done, or the pots done, painted white, and then cut the 2x4 for these strawberry plants to hang on those windowsills. And we'll see how it does with like 5.5, 6 hours here. And then these are 2 different kinds, but I'm going to leave these right here for now. And I'm going to do these, and I'm going to put the vegetables or the herbs in that other container and see how it goes. See you guys next week. I just wanted to give a weekly update, and you know, when I'm done with painting the pails, you guys will see them next week. Hopefully I'll have them up potted by then, or new soil inside with those pots. Anyway, have a great day.